What is up, guys? Dad Dash here, coming to you with a follow-up video. Um, I'm going to call this video basically the uncomfortable truth that most dashers don't want to deal with, right? Most delivery drivers don't want to deal with. And this is in reaction to the video I put out when I said you're the problem. And I don't think that's understood what I mean, right? I'm not saying the apps have their own problems. I acknowledge that, right? I mean, they're filled with problems. They're filled with challenges. But what I'm saying is at the end of the day, if you're not making money, you're responsible for yourself and your own paycheck. And it seems like we have a culture that has developed among drivers where these are guys that are and gals that are claiming, hey, I don't want help from anybody else. I'm my own person. Government, stay out of my pocket. But they want the apps. They want other drivers. They want they want things done for them and handed to them. And have expectations that are way outside the norm if you're in business for yourself. Listen, my point is it's your job to solve your own problem. If the apps aren't working for you, solve that problem. That's on you. Find something else. Don't sit around complaining, making no money. Some drivers getting as far as 3 months behind on their rents. And they're making videos about other drivers. And they're spending time complaining about other drivers. And they're spending time claiming that it's impossible to do. Well, here's the problem. It's not impossible to do because there are drivers out there making money. So the whole argument falls apart when one driver is able to make money. Now, how is that driver making money? They're doing something different, right? So the whole idea that Dino suggested, which is everybody's doing the same thing all the time, that's not true. Okay? That's not true. They're working differently. They're working different apps at the same time. They figured it out. And my point is we have moved beyond the one app days. We have moved beyond the one app wonders. We have moved beyond that. We were never really there in the first place. It's just certain conditions within certain markets existed. And maybe some still do today. There are some drivers out there today in certain markets and certain places. But in the average market, the average rural, semi-suburban market, one app days are gone. They're behind us. People aren't going to, especially if it's just food delivery. People are not going to pay big tips and big money for services that eventually, if they get to a certain price point, they're going to get up off their couch. They're going to make the stop off on their way home from wherever they're coming from. And they're going to say, I'll go get it myself. And then when drivers are confronting them over lack of tips or lack of pay or whatever their complaint is, and they start confronting them at their front door, that customer's never coming back to the app. They're just going to say, no, it ain't worth it. It is not worth it. Okay. These things are too jacked up. The apps aren't paying what they're supposed to. Listen, we as drivers are supposed to understand our bottom line. We as drivers are supposed to understand what we need from the app to hit accept. And once we hit accept, we own that acceptance. And guess who hit accept? We did, unless you're using driver utility helper. But even then, you're putting in the parameters for your acceptance. But you hit accept. So you own that. And you were the one that decided to do that order. So you are your problem when that order goes off the rails because you're the one who's decided to do it. And it's your job to figure out what it was that went wrong, figure out how you can ensure that you don't take similar orders, and how you can limit the probability that you will ever encounter that problem again if it was a drag on your earnings. Then move forward, rinse, repeat, and do the simple things that are very simple. They are very simple. But it is not simple necessarily to make money because every market requires a different way of working it. Whether it's doing shop and delivers, maybe you can get away with working only the DoorDash app and being willing to do shop and delivers, being willing to do the package deliveries, being willing to do food delivery and work as many hours as you need to. Or maybe you need to add in an extra app. Maybe you need to add in Spark. Maybe you need to add in Instacart. Maybe you need to add in Amazon Flex. And this is where it isn't being done the same way, because not every driver has access to every single app, because not every driver signed up for the apps at the same exact time. Some drivers are entering the market right now, only one app at their disposal. I would tell that driver, don't come full time. It's too risky. It's too much of a risk. Wait until you have at least 3 apps at your disposal that you can learn, that you can work on. I said it on Robert Reese's Live about a month or so ago when I went on there. 3 months. Give yourself 3 months working part time. Give yourself 3 months to track your earnings. Make your first 1,000. See how it goes. See how easy it is. See how many hours you had to actually work. How many active hours you were, how many, you know, how much time were you available versus how much time were you active. Understand your market, understand your metrics, understand what the apps are, what the apps are going to bring to you when you're there. And the best way you can do that, and again, some people get offended by this, but I'm telling you, the best way you can do that is use something like my spreadsheets. They will give you all that information and more. And quite frankly, you're an idiot if you don't. I mean, quite frankly, you're an idiot if you don't, and you're new, because you need to understand these things. And if you're a current driver and you don't understand these things, and you probably don't, you probably couldn't tell me what your utilization rate is. You probably couldn't tell me what your miles to money is. And if you're making X amount of dollars, you could be making more if you understood these things. You absolutely could. And if you're sitting there not making money and then telling me that you don't need to do these things, well, then you're just an idiot. And that's it. But hey, listen, here's the best part about it, right? You can all decide how you want to be. You can all decide how you want to be. And it doesn't affect me. It doesn't affect me. I'm my own market. I'm my own person within the apps. What I see on my phone is not affected by what you do on your phone. And again, we have people out there, idiots out there that believe that, okay, who haven't taken the time to understand the fact, or maybe they haven't worked with multiple accounts or whatever it is. They haven't seen the fact that that the app is calculating your situation at that moment, makes the offer, you decline it, unless it's like Instacart or Spark where everyone's seeing that offer at one time. It's then declined or accepted. And if it's declined, it goes back out. And the next driver that comes up could be a diamond driver, could be a non-diamond driver, could be somebody who's sitting a mile from the restaurant. Bottom line is they will never see the same offer, because the parameters will never be exactly the same. Now, you might see a similar one, but it will never be the same. It'll never be the same miles on that screen. It'll never be the same. And I've had my wife sitting in there who has the DoorDash app, only done 50, I think 54 delivers. And I've had her sitting there with the app on and seeing for myself. The miles aren't even the same, right? On the phone. Nothing is the same for one driver over the next. Nothing. Everything you're doing with the app affects what you see. So if you come in with better information than the next driver, you will have a better experience. And if you don't believe me and you're not making money, well, you're probably going to still not be making money. But what I would encourage you to do is consider doing something different. Recognize that you are the problem. Get out of your own way. Start doing something different, and maybe you'll make more money. Maybe you'll have different results. But I am not suggesting that the apps are not a problem. They are. But what I'm saying is that if you're not successful, if you're not getting the results you desire, then it's more likely than not actually, it's not more likely than not. It absolutely has everything to do with what you're doing and choosing to do. And you need to figure out what you can do different to have a different experience. It's that simple. You're not going to get the apps to change. You're not going to get the restaurants to change. You're not going to get the market to change. You have to change. And every business that operates within a market understands that. Every successful business understands that it is when they're not successful and what they do with that and how they adjust for that. That is the difference between them staying in business or being in business in the long term. And you, friends, drivers, dashers out there, have to make the same decision, have to make the same calculations. Anyways, guys, I understand this message is not easy for everyone to hear. It's certainly not easy for people to hear who want to blame others and blame everyone else. But I would encourage you to get out of your own way, listen to this message, play the video back 2-3 times, and let it set in. Download my spreadsheets, start analyzing what you're seeing, start analyzing your daily, okay? And then start making your adjustments. And I guarantee you, you will start to see better results. Anyways, guys, got to run, just got an order. And as always, guys, stay safe, stay profitable, and Dad Dash will talk to you soon.